Krasny Marine Services Private Limited was established in the year 1995 by the founder managing director V.G. Jayaprakasan, an ex-naval officer with exceptional professional competence and grit. Krasny was not formed as yet another company, but a company with a noble objective of harnessing core competence of ex-servicemen in the country. During the formative years, Krasny focused on repair and refits of electrical and electronic systems of ships of the Indian Coast Guard, while exploring solutions for the acute problems faced by the Indian Navy with regard to Russian origin spares and specialist support post-breakup of Soviet Union. As a business strategy, the company partnered with a private ship repair company to jointly undertake wholesome refit of ICGS Vivek, the first ever refit of a Coast Guard ship to be undertaken by a private ship repair yard. This refit turned out to be a grand success and thus paved the way for refits of Coast Guard ships by private ship repair yards. Today, most Coast Guard ships are refitted by private sector repair yards, and Krasny is a front runner. Parallelly, Krasny succeeded in establishing grassroots tie-ups with premier military equipment manufacturers, government canalization agencies, and service enterprises of Russia and Ukraine for channelizing their technological expertise and skills, for overcoming the acute deficiencies in logistics and service support encountered by the Indian Navy after breakup of the Soviet Union, despite bureaucratic hurdles and an unfavorable commercial environment. In 1998, Krasny made a successful foray into avionic repairs and pioneered private sector participation in repair of Russian origin military avionics of the Indian Navy. The Avionic Repair Lab, established at Goa, has the unique distinction of being the first private company in India to be accredited by the Center for Military Airworthiness and Certification for repairs of Russian origin military avionics. Progressively, Krasny established 3 joint venture companies in India, that is, Yuxudo Engineering Service India, Aurora India Marine System, and Rossibron Service India for providing enhanced technical and logistic support for Russian origin assets of the Indian Navy. The joint venture Rossibron Service India, formed under a special decree of President of the Russian Federation, is a historic milestone in Indo-Russian Intergovernmental Military Technical Corporation. The partners of this high-profile joint venture are Rossibron Export, the Russian state canalizing agency for military exports, and 7 world-renowned military equipment manufacturers from Russia. During the period of 15 years since inception, Krasny has grown expansively as a versatile multi-dimension, multi-location enterprise, providing value-added services for the ships, submarines and aircraft of the Indian Navy and ships of the Indian Coast Guard. The service portfolio of the company comprises of waterfront services for strategic naval equipment, repair of complex electronic modules, outfitting of newly constructed submarines and ships, repair of naval avionic equipment, and complete refits of ships. Today, Krasny is regarded as the most favored private ship repair yard by the Indian Coast Guard in view of the highest standards of repairs and timely completion of refits. The last 3 refits in a row were completed within or before the due date. The other satisfied customers are shipyards engaged in building of warships, Bharat Electronics Limited, Larsen & Toubro Limited, and DRDO establishments like NPOL, NSTL, and several others.
Krasny has done exceptionally well in refitting of Coast Guard ships. In the year 2008-9, we had undertaken refits of 3 Coast Guard ships in a row and have completed 2 refits well ahead of its schedule. Owing to our exceptional performance, today the Coast Guard is considering lifting off the restriction of undertaking only 2 refits at one time, and once these restrictions are lifted, we would be at par with the public sector shipyards to undertake refits of any number of Coast Guard ships at a time.
Krasny is the proud recipient of numerous letters of appreciation from virtually all its customers for excellent project management skills, technical competence, innovation, and consistent adherence to quality and time. The company has set up well-equipped, multi-discipline ship repair workshops in strategic locations at Mumbai, Visakhapatnam, and Goa. New branches are being added at Cochin and Karwar. Since the year 2004, Krasny is engaged in executing a prestigious and technically challenging rate contract for outfitting of electrical and electronic systems, cabling and connectorization on board INS Arihant, India's first nuclear-powered submarine. In-house design and development as test facilities for naval aviation, underwater data transmission cables for Naval Armament Depot, contactless pneumatic coupling indication switches for EKM submarines, etc., have won all-round appreciation and acclaim, being reliable indigenous substitutions. The human resource of the company predominantly comprises of well-trained and experienced personnel of ex-Indian Navy and the Merchant Marine. Through a well-established system of employee participation, empowerment, and proactive welfare measures, the company has established a successful human resource management system and has sustained very low attrition rates. Functional autonomy and multi-level interactive participation is the guiding principle followed by the company for attaining a sense of belonging and loyalty of its employees.
It is our mission to create ship and aircraft repair yards in private sector to augment the governmental efforts in achieving material and operational readiness for our naval and Coast Guard fleet. Going by our past 15 years of successes in harnessing the core competence of ex-servicemen and propagating the concept of self-reliance in defense equipment maintenance, through public-private participation model, we visualize accomplishment of our mission in the near future, thereby paving the way of business opportunities from neighboring countries. Enhanced staff welfare like in-house schooling, medical facilities, and education of underprivileged children shall always be integral to our corporate social responsibilities and ethos.
Krasny has consistently attained high growth rate and profitability and has been awarded the rating of SE1A by Messrs. CRISIL, denoting highest performance capability and high financial strength. The company is ISO 9001-2000 certified since 2002. Creation of ship and aircraft repair yards in the private sector to augment the governmental efforts in maintaining our naval and Coast Guard fleets in peak state of material and operational readiness is the prospective growth plans pursued by the company.